Hello! Yes, it's me, Barret. On a video that is not net-linked, this video is actually a bit different than our usual stuff. It's a review of the Koowheel electric skateboard. When we talk about electric skateboards, most people think of Casey Neistat and the Boosted board since he rides it around through New York and makes it look super cool. So we'll be comparing the Koowheel to Boosted and also a regular longboard and see how this holds up as a commuter board going through the city just like Casey Neistat. Will you get as many random people calling out how awesome you are? Possibly. Let's find out. So I've done quite a bit of longboarding in my time. I used to live in a neighborhood with big hills and I would ride them all the time with my friends because when you're not cool enough to skateboard, you longboard. I was pretty excited to get the Koowheel though because it basically is a longboard but it has an electric motor which just sounds awesome. So come with me. Let's check this thing out. Out of the box, you get the board, the battery, which comes with a charger, and the remote, which allows you to control the board. Well, I mean, you can just go forwards and backwards with it. It's like a boost stick. But other than that, you ride it like a regular longboard that isn't electric. The remote also comes with a micro USB charger. The board itself is made out of 7-layer Canadian maple, very nice, and glass fiber. It measures 920 by 240 by 130 millimeters and is 16.5 pounds. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. But the good thing is it can go uphill, so unlike a regular longboard, you don't have to pick it up and carry it up a hill. I'll talk more about the uphill riding a bit later. Underneath the board is a 44 milliamp hour Samsung battery. It's about 4 iPhones thick and it weighs 1,700 grams. It will fully charge in about 2 hours, but when fully charged, the board gets a range of 22 miles or 35 kilometers. The Boosted board comparatively has 2 battery options, the first giving you a 7-mile range, and the more expensive one gives you 12 miles. So the Koowheel beats Boosted there. However, the Koowheel battery has 500 watts of power compared to the Boosted 1,500 watts of power in the lower end option and 2,000 in the high end option. So that might give the Boosted some extra horsepower for going up hills or the like. The Koowheel's battery is supposed to give you over 1,500 full charges, so I mean, I imagine that should last you a pretty long time. But Koowheel also sells replacements if it comes to that. There are 4 battery indicator lights on the top and rear of the board so you can see how much it is charged. Now the board provides motion via dual hub motors in the front wheels of the board which can accelerate the board up to a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. I tested this with a speedometer app called DigiHud. And just on the stretch of street in front of our studio it got up to 30 kilometers per hour, but I think if you got some distance to ride you could get up to 35 and faster, obviously if you're going downhill. The Boosted boards have top speeds of 32 kilometers per hour and 35 for the more expensive option. And Koowheel actually has a mode that you can unlock to make it go even faster, which I will tell you guys about, but first, let's finish our tour. The remote! Careful. The remote is a little thing with big responsibility, like Spider-Man. The power switch is on the left side and the throttle is located on the front near the top. Push it forward to accelerate and push it back to brake. On the lower end of the remote are 3 LEDs. The charge light indicator on the right, battery light indicator in the middle, which will start flashing green when it's running low on battery, and the direction indicator on the left. Yes sir, you can make the board switch directions. When you click the button right below the 3 LED indicators, the button on the left will turn red, which indicates that pushing forward on the throttle will make the board accelerate backwards. Pushing back on the throttle is still the brake. Press the button again to switch back to normal. The remote charges in about 30 minutes via the short USB cable, no actual USB plug included though. Now I don't think we received one, but the website says that this remote comes with a lanyard, which is good because this could be pretty easy to lose. When Jack tried riding this for the first time, he threw the remote out of his hand when he started losing control, which I don't recommend. He also was sitting on the board, which I also don't recommend. But then again, you do you, boo-boo. So how do you get started riding this thing? You can easily install the battery pack into the structure under the board. Put it in and twist the screws so it's safely in place. Then turn on the remote and the power button on the bottom of the board right after. Push forward on acceleration and back for brake, and if you've got those working, you're ready to start ripping up the streets, dude! I've been riding the Koowheel around here at the office for a while and have taken it home and rode around my neighborhood. It's taken a bit of getting used to, but from the beginning I was pretty surprised at how it feels like a regular longboard. But can it be treated like a regular longboard? Well, that depends on how long you want to keep it in great condition. Just like a regular board, riding it in wet or dirty conditions can damage the bearings, especially if you don't clean it afterwards. But this board also has electric components to think about, so it's good that the board is IPX4 dust and waterproof, but Koowheel also warns you not to ride on wet roads, which is kind of hard to avoid if you live in a pretty rainy location like Vancouver. Suffice to say, avoid riding in wet conditions if you can, but if you have to use it, just make sure you clean the bearings and undercarriage afterwards, and you should be alright. When it isn't raining though, this is an amazing commuter board. Actually, maybe rather than comparing it to a regular longboard, you might want to compare it to a bike or something. You can easily ride this around campus and even on the street, if there's a clear bike lane. Because I know Casey Neistat rides through the streets next to cars, but that's a pretty risky move. Then again, it does look cool, so. I rode the fully charged board down to the beach and then went over a major bridge through a pedestrian lane into downtown Vancouver, where I tried to be Casey Neistat for a bit, then got scared and rode back to my place, covering over 10 kilometers in less than an hour. Braking on a hill works pretty well, although when the hill is very steep, the board won't stop completely, but it slows you down so you can avoid getting T-boned by a car coming from an intersection, for example, which is always good. For going uphill, the Koowheel is decent, but the more charged it is, the faster it will be. On a really steep hill, it's obviously going to have a harder time, but it still works slowly. On hills that aren't super steep, the board travels really well. Koowheel says that it has 25% grade hill climbing, which is actually the same as boosted board, and translates to about a 13-degree incline. All I can really say is the fact that this board goes uphill at all is really awesome, because on a regular longboard, you obviously have to kick and push your way up, or just give up and carry the board with you. So it's like real exercise, which, I mean, nobody wants. Okay, now for that speed hack I was telling you guys about. Koowheel has an option to make the board go even faster than the 40 kilometers per hour top speed. You can unlock this by clicking the power button on the board 7 times quickly. We tried this out and the board does get a little extra kick. Not by a lot, but it does go faster. If you're in a hurry, this feature might help you out, not to mention, it does sound pretty cool to say, "Guys, I'm about to unlock the top speed! Get out of my way!" Before I conclude things here, I've had quite a few good things to say about the Koowheel, so I think it's only fair that I also include the things I didn't like as much. Firstly, the throttle. It's pretty sensitive, so it's easy to accidentally give it too much, either stopping or accelerating too suddenly. I'd like to see Koowheel add a more gradual acceleration and deceleration to the throttle. Second, the trucks were pretty tight when we first got the board, but they loosened up after a bit of riding. So when you start riding, don't worry too much about that. Better days are upon you. Now for price. While the boosted board has 2 price options, the first one starting at $1,300 and the more expensive one, $1,500, the Koowheel undercuts them at a significantly cheaper $600 US. Boosted has pretty great brand recognition, so I have a feeling that the price difference has much more to do with the name than the actual performance. I could be wrong. I haven't tried boosted, but I know that after riding the Koowheel and thoroughly enjoying myself, I don't know if I'd be willing to pay that much more money for a possibly higher performance option. Have you guys tried boosted board or the Koowheel or another electric board? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. For my part, I give the Koowheel electric skateboard the Barret stamp of approval for whatever that's worth. It feels like riding a regular longboard, but gives you more flexibility for commuting and getting from place to place without working up a sweat. The Koowheel is pretty effing rad, and yeah, that's it. So if you're interested in getting a Koowheel for yourself, you can click in the corner, yeah, right there, or the link in the description. I think it's on discount right now actually, but that depends on when we publish this video, so hopefully sometime soon. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Click over here for previous videos and check us out on Twitter over here. But as always, like the video if you liked it, comment below for fans with benefits, and subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX. And I'm gonna probably, yeah, it's pretty heavy, but still, like, I'm sitting down, so maybe I'll go ride this outside right now.